There are Koreaans currently on like a crusade to try to tell everyone that like Hongdae is super duper safe and everyone's always just exaggerating. Every single one of my friends that has gone clubbing in Hongdae has been essayed. Every single one. I know not one that has not. Korean men will stand in a line and in the crowd will grope, especially foreign women, as they're walking by. And when I say grope, I mean Donald Trump levels of grope. Women, especially foreign women, are being drugged in those clubs every day. Every single day. There are women being essayed to the extent that they can't walk after going to one of those clubs. Do not. This is the most serious video I have made in a very long time. Do not listen to delusional Koreaboos who sit around, sitting on the Snow app, trying to make themselves look half Korean. I have tea on some of these Koreaboos that are on this app talking about how Hongdae isn't that bad. I know what actually is going on with them and what has happened to them, including in those Hongdae clubs, and what they continue to do because they fetishize Korean men. Do not let people who live every day of their life in degeneracy trick you into believing into a false sense of safety. Everywhere is dangerous, yes, but I am telling you that those Hongdae clubs are where a lot of Korean men go to do the absolutely most deprived nonsense I have ever heard of in my entire life. There's plenty of people who have gone to a Hongdae club and left perfectly fine. I'm not denying that. But the prevalency of how many, especially women, especially foreign women, leave those clubs and aren't fine should be enough to make you proceed with some sort of caution. And quite frankly, if you continue to have this weird fetishistic fantasy of going clubbing in Hongdae and so you don't listen to the foreign women that have lived there, like me, you don't listen to the Korean women who tell you that those clubs are dangerous and make them uncomfortable, I quite frankly, I don't know what to tell you. I really don't know what to tell you. Because I don't know what to tell you. The rate of domestic violence in Korea is absolutely astronomical, and it's underreported still. So just imagine how much it actually happens. Do you understand how many Korean men have admitted to essaying not only their partners, but women that they've went on dates on, women that they never even went on a date on, because they feel that comfortable doing these things to women? I warned you. You do what you want to do. I'm not saying never go to a Hongdae club. From what I heard, the best route of action is like if you are traveling with a man, stick to that man. Even if he's gay, stick to that man. Stick to him. And I say even if he's gay because you're like, well, he's not my boyfriend. It don't matter. It could be your cousin. It could be your first brother. Stick to him. Thank you.
Hi kids, I know you really loved Hometown Cha-Cha-Cha, but your man Kim Sun-ho had a whole girlfriend, got her pregnant, then pressured her to get an abortion, and promised her marriage after the abortion. So she got the abortion and he dumped her ass shortly after. And we know this shit is real because he's losing endorsements left and right. And he had to make a formal announcement acknowledging it. So, just a reminder, you can love your Korean dramas, but these men are not real. You know what is? Korean misogyny. Yeah.
Right after the last episode of Hometown Cha-Cha-Cha aired, an anonymous post from a woman claimed she was in a relationship with rising star K. Now we know K is Kim Sun-ho, who played Hong Ban-jang. She claimed they began dating since the start of last year and were together until 4 months ago. Apparently she got pregnant, then he persuaded her to get an abortion and that he would soon marry her. Since having a child at the peak of his fame would result in a drop in popularity as well as a 900 million won fine, she got the abortion, and unlike the promises he made, he broke up with her through Text. Kim Sono released a vague statement apologizing to his ex-girlfriend, his fans, and the hometown cha-cha-cha crew. He was immediately removed from the Domino's Pizza ad, he resigned from 1박 2일, and removed from 2 upcoming films. His ex-girlfriend is also taking legal action against people sending her death threats, and she took down her post saying she didn't think it was gonna get this crazy.
Hola, mis amores, ¿cómo están? ¿Cómo están haciendo? Hi, my loves. How are you doing today? So I'm back with another video, podcast. Okay. This is, when I say this is like so insane, y'all, when I was looking at this stuff, I was like, well, here we go. And we're about to take a look at how insane this continues to get. Okay. Particularly because of the male species. So we're about to take a look at that because it's completely wild, y'all. Now, also these K-dramas are literally just insane, and they continue to get more and more insane. It's crazy how South Korea continues to try to portray itself like it's some type of utopia when it's the complete opposite. It's literally HELL on earth, y'all. Like literally, I posted in the shorts section, in my shorts section, get caught up on the shorts if you haven't. Several recent instances where K-pop idols have been called out, where the K-dramas have been called out. So I posted some really insane stories that have been in the news in the shorts section. If you haven't seen that, girl, make sure to get caught up on that and stay tuned in the shorts section as well as the community section, the community posts as well. I post a lot of updates on the community section as well. Soon, we're going to be doing more exclusive content for exclusive members where we dive in more depth talking about some of these things. So I'm going to be doing content for exclusive members where we're able to kind of dive in a little bit deeper. Here within the next few weeks, my goal is to get started with posting quite a few videos in the exclusive content area, because some of this stuff we can't necessarily just openly talk about. You know what I mean? So it's insane. Leave it in the comments below if you have particular subjects. It's wild, y'all. It's wild. So let's see what we can find, and let's jump right in. Don't forget to smash that like button for me. Okay. Love you so much. Don't forget to smash the subscribe button for me as well, and the notification bell so you don't miss a podcast every time that it comes out. Okay. Also, links are below in the description. The Patreon is now up. Take a look at what the different tiers are. There's also coaching as to how to navigate through these hard times, these very scary times for women, life coaching in general, especially with trying to figure this out. Links below to the Patreon. If you haven't checked that out, go ahead and check it out. We just opened it. We're so excited about it. It's a support system that we've been putting together for a long time now. We've been kind of building it for quite some time. So we're really excited to continue to build it and to finally launch. So links below on that as well. Okay. As usual, free newsletters. You can sign up for those at our website. Link below as well. All the other socials are also linked below. So make sure to follow on Instagram, TikTok, and Blue Sky. We're now on Blue Sky as well. So thank you so much for your support. Here on this channel, we talk about anything and everything related to the girlies. But let's go ahead and dive into this whole situation, okay? Because it's totally insane. It's totally crazy.
It is true. He has posted an apology saying he's sorry for being a dickhead and making his girlfriend get an abortion. Disappointed and surprised. I guess the reason I didn't get fuckboy vibes off of him was because I should have been looking out for fame and money hungry vibes. Here's the apology. Quite a long apology. This is the apology his agency posted. He's also been binned off 2 days and 1 night. He also might get binned off all the movies that he was supposed to do, as you can see here. And there's also doubts about his contract. Maybe there was a reason why I preferred his Catch the Ghost era to his Hometown Cha-Cha-Cha era. Oh well, moral of the story is you can never trust a man.
The Korean government made a map listing the number of women in their fertile age by region. So basically a fertility map. And who knows what the purpose of that was. And it's giving creepy. And I know on TikTok and like on the internet, like Korea's like really like glamorized and romanticized right now. But yeah, good luck if you're a woman living there. It might not be all that.
The Vietnamese woman was beaten by her 36-year-old Korean husband for 3 hours in the presence of their 2-year-old son, apparently for not speaking Korean well. The victim was diagnosed with fractured ribs that would take 4 weeks to recover.
South Koreans were outraged, but they've long been aware how vulnerable foreign women are to domestic violence and how many cases go unreported. Our Also Young took a closer look at the issue and spoke with a woman in Korea who's experienced that violence.
For 4 in 10 women who've come to Korea for marriage, the marital bliss soon turns into domestic violence. But according to Korea's Human Rights Commission, 1/3 of them neither seek help nor report the abuse. Why don't these women speak out? A Vietnamese woman in her early 30s agreed to talk to Arirang News on the condition of anonymity.
My husband has been beating me since 2010. He also aborted my baby while I was unconscious. I slit my wrist to kill myself, but I failed. Now I'm trying to get a divorce, but it's hard to leave because he says he'll hire someone to kill me. I don't speak enough Korean, and if I go back to Vietnam, I will be a nuisance to my parents.
In March, South Korea elected a new president, Yoon Suk-yeol, who built his campaign around anti-feminist policies. Yoon has blamed the country's low birth rate on feminism.
페미니즘이라는 것이 너무 정치적으로 악용이 돼가지고 이게 남녀 간의 어떤 건전한 이런 교제 같은 것들도 막 정서적으로 막는 이런 역할을 많이 한다.
Denied that systemic inequality exists and intends to abolish the Ministry of Gender Equality and Family. His target audience? Young male voters who believe that they face reverse discrimination.
Young males who couldn't get dates. Yeah. Basically, loners who think such legislations will get them a wife. Ew. Ew. Oh my God. That is ew. Ew, ew, ew.
Now, many fear that Yoon's election will put Korean women's rights in further jeopardy for the next 5 years. But how and why did Yoon Suk-yeol weaponize feminism in the first place? And what does this mean for South Korea's relationship to feminism more broadly? This is EST Explains. In terms of gender equality, South Korea has a long way to go. Despite having had a female president, only 19% of legislators are women, well below most OECD countries. The Economist ranks South Korea as the worst place to be a working woman of all developed countries. Women make 31.5% less than men. Only about 16% of senior positions are held by women, and only 4% of top executives are women. That's the biggest gender gap among advanced economies, according to the World Economic Forum. South Korea is also not the safest place for women. It's been described as the global epicenter of spy cam crimes, with tiny cameras being hidden anywhere from inside clocks and public restrooms to changing rooms. This problem is so bad that there's even a law saying that all cell phones must have a loud camera shutter, even when they're in silent mode. But violence against women takes more deadly forms too. In 2016, a 23-year-old woman was brutally stabbed in a public bathroom near Gangnam Station. The perpetrator didn't know the victim at all and told the police that he was motivated by his hatred for women who had, quote, belittled him.
처음부터 일부러 여성을 노린 건가요? 피해자 유가족들한테 한마디만 해주시죠. 여성 혐오 범죄에 대해서 어떻게 생각하십니까?
Although the case was ultimately ruled as not a hate crime because of the suspect's mental illness, It shook the whole nation and left many women feeling powerless and unsafe.
사실 뭐 여성 혐오가 요즘 많이 문제시 되고 있는데 정말 아무한테나 일어날 수 있는 일이구나 실감하고 있어서
도대체 뭘 얼마나 더 조심해야 될지도 모르겠고 충분히 조심하고 충분히 조심하면서
South Korea's National Assembly voted to impeach President Yoon Suk-yeol, suspending him from office. This comes after his declaration of martial law earlier this month plunged the country into political turmoil. Prime Minister Han Duck-soo will now step in as acting president while the Constitutional Court decides Yoon's fate. People battled the bitter cold and poured onto the streets of South Korea's capital, Seoul, to celebrate as news broke of Yoon's impeachment.
Well. It looks and sounds to me like the patriarchy has taken another big ass L. Okay, excuse my French. But I mean, this is the same president that they voted in because he blamed all of the country's problems on feminists. So they voted him in because they said, well, all the problems that are going on in the country, feminists are to blame, women are to blame. So we just need to, I don't really know what their plan was, get rid of all the remaining women that they have left, which, I mean, I don't know if that was their plan. I'm confused as to what they thought they were going to do.
President Yoon, he surely tried to have a war against the citizens. So this is just what he deserved. The South Korean parliament made history. They succeeded in impeaching their president. More than 2/3 of the lawmakers voted in favor of this. This time last week, they failed at a previous attempt to impeach the president because the president's political party abstained from voting. This time they joined in, and a number of them voted also for impeachment. When that news came out, a huge crowd demonstrating outside the grounds of the National Assembly exploded into a giant dancing K-pop party in freezing temperatures.
So they don't even have any women over there. They don't have like enough women. It's like nothing but males. That's the first problem that they're having. The first problem that they have over there is you have too many males in South Korea. Okay. That's the first problem. Okay. I don't know when society will learn that, like, the more males you have within society, the quicker your society will fall. Right? So now they've even went so far as to impeach the same president that they voted in because they felt like feminists are to blame. So we need to punish the women. We need a president that's going to go in there and punish all the women. Now, guess what this guy did? He enacted martial law. So he literally sent military onto the streets, y'all. If y'all, just so you know what this entails, if you haven't heard about it, sending military into the streets to control the people using violence. So he sent like military people into the streets to control people using violence. And all of this is after his family and he has been accused of is currently being investigated of like embezzling and all type of criminal activity, if I do say so myself. So he had all this going on. And then on top of that, sent the military out to the streets to parole the streets. I can't even make this stuff up, y'all. This is the guy this is who the males voted in because they said, well, it's, we're being discriminated against as males and it's the feminists' fault that we don't have access to women. And so, we're going to vote this guy in. Now, all of a sudden, You want to impeach the president that you voted in because you hate women so much. You voted him in there. Now, all of a sudden, whoa. You see what I'm saying? It's like the idiocracy of the whole thing. Like the male species, I keep telling y'all, the male species is the most idiotic species out there. I'm so sorry. Someone has to tell them. This is why whenever I call them dumb, it's because they are literally dumb. The only thing when a species cannot evolve beyond gaslighting and manipulating and survival, okay, that is not an evolved species. That's a devolved species and a species that will continue to devolve. That's why I call them dumb. I don't call them dumb because they don't know how to gaslight and lie. I call them dumb because all they know how to do is gaslight and lie. And violence. That's the biggest, most important piece when it comes to males. It's violence. So they voted this guy in, and look how that worked out. It worked out how it usually always works out when you're dealing with males. Okay. It's insane, you know, like, so he unleashes the military on them. And now all of a sudden they want to impeach him, and they did impeach him, and they're like throwing a K-pop party in the middle of the street for a president that they voted for. Meanwhile, nothing has been solved as far as their hate for women, and they keep losing more and more women, and their birth rate keeps plummeting. It's unheard of. I mean, at this point, we keep waiting for it to plateau, the birth rate, but it's not plateauing. It's literally at like a 0.6 currently, I believe, last time I checked. 0.6. The projected timeline for them to be half or less than half of their population is like maybe in 20 to 30 years or so. I actually think it's going to happen much more quickly because those numbers, from what I've seen, are only taken into consideration the birth rates. They're not taken into consideration all of the unalivings of women that happen on a daily basis in South Korea. That is a terrible, terrible place to be for women. They don't want wives, they want slaves. Exactly. So K-pop and K-dramas are hiding these very serious issues that are internationally spread. I somehow thought South Korea was ahead. I know it's far, far, far from it. But yeah, so let's see. That's why they push K-pop and K-dramas out so much. It makes it seem like a utopia. Also, if you watched Business Proposal, there is an episode where I've watched Business Proposal, by the way, y'all. Side note. The MC's best friend had to deal with someone putting a spy cam in her apartment, and she dealt with PTSD as a result. That's insane. I got the total opposite from K-dramas. I think a lot of the family ideals are so old-fashioned and disappointing in this day and age. Exactly. Who in the world voted for him? I am shocked. They literally stepped back in time for that. I have no words. This is why I keep saying, y'all, if you've been keeping up with the podcasts, the lives, I say this all the time. Males are devolved. I'm not saying that just to say that. I'm saying it because it's literal. Like I'm saying, it's in the most literal sense possible. They're actually devolving. They're devolving. They're not capable of evolution. So they're gonna die out. They have to die out because they just can't do it. Young men, exactly. And old males who want to go back to the good old days. Okay. Yeah, I know, sadly. I just don't understand how Korea still thinks putting women down and treating them like something lower is a thing. It makes me so mad. Males. Yep, exactly. SK is very sexist. Exactly. It's such a shame in a technologically and highly advanced country. They seem to be ahead in many things, but the society is so far behind. Yep. And that's what will happen if males are like allowed to continue to exist. I don't even know how else to put it. Like, look, these males are devolved. Okay, they're ruining the planet, they're ruining the earth. You know, you need to stop birthing them because they need to go extinct. They've got to go. Like, they've got to go. You keep birthing them saying that yours is the exception, and yours is not the exception. We see that clearly. All we have to do is Google it and see that all crime, violent crimes, and unalivings, 88 to 95% males are the ones committing those crimes in the US alone. In South Korea, all violent crimes and unalivings, the victims of those crimes, almost 60% women. So look, you got to stop. If you already birthed a male, I don't even know what to say to you. But like, yours is not the exception. I don't think he's going to help raise the birth rate like this. You know, as we found out, right? Like, literally, it's insane. Like, I've read the males who voted for him are upset that they have to share the job market with women, especially after military service. Oh, yeah. I've heard the same thing. Point is that sexism that males complain about facing is a side effect of a system that they themselves made to benefit themselves. Then they come in here and try to blame women for everything. The idiocracy of it all. It's very frustrating to see a random woman murdered or unalived in public because of a male's hatred for women, not to be deemed as a crime. And then the males say and complain about sexism and that they have to do military service, a thing males decided males should do because they see women as too weak. You're talking about forced military service for 2 years. Meanwhile, your males are out here unaliving women in the streets as they are just trying to use the restroom or trying to catch a train, and nothing is happening to your males. Like, nothing is happening to them as a consequence of doing these things and unaliving women in the streets. And you're doing military service because you are the one that starts the wars. Women, we're not the ones. Every war in history has been started by a male. So why in the world would you ask women to fight in wars that you're the one starting? Not only that, you are the one that put together this system through violence and oppression. You forced it, right? And now you're complaining about it and trying to blame women for the system that you put together and that you forced. I just look, these males just need to go extinct, like, immediately. It's out of control. It's out of control. There is a ridiculous amount of countries going backwards on women's rights. Why? Because they're going extinct. Literally, that's just literally that's the facts, because they're going extinct. I mean, the birth rates are plummeting. And so they see that, look, women, we don't have to use violence for you to no longer exist. We don't have to do what you're doing and what you've been doing for centuries. We don't even have to lift a finger, okay, for this whole thing to be done, for you to be done, for you to be gone, for you to not be here no more, okay? And that's what they're seeing. That's why they're freaking out, because it's like all it takes is for women to say, this is just not, this is just not going to work, because as women, we're thinking this whole time, well, maybe if we get some rights, well, maybe if we're able to work, well, maybe if we're able to, have our own things in our own property, well, then maybe these males will start treating us more fairly. Maybe these males will be less violent. And what we're seeing and what we've now seen as a whole, and as women, is that no, actually, we get all those things. The males are worse. So we probably should just no longer birth them, and also we look at the state of the world and we say, yeah, it should all go extinct because how can you bring another soul into this? It does not make sense to bring an innocent soul into this catastrophe, this disaster. Okay. We don't have to be violent with you. We don't have to threaten you with violence. All we have to do is leave you alone. Goodbye, sir. Y'all can date each other and figure it out from there. I don't really know what they're going to do. Just leave us out of it. Because we live in a world controlled by males that hate women. Exactly. Unhinged, demonic males. And then we have all these economic things going on, and the males are fumbling and doing terribly there as well. So what's the purpose? There is none, Wow, this is a huge shock to me. The US is not the only country that's going backwards and regressing. I wouldn't be surprised if any K-pop idols voted for him. Their fans can defend them all they want, but there's no way all of them didn't vote for him or don't support him. A huge majority of male idols are crap as the rest of the males in this country. They're not miraculously different than the rest of the society they live in. Exactly. So by healthy dating relationship, he means a Seuss? Probably. A woman is only there to bear children and care for the male and the family, as we know. It even hurts to type it.